Hey, Vaughn here. Today we have how scientifically accurate is Jurassic World. Not even attempting it, bro. At this point, y'all should know I'm terrible at names. Well, no, we're gonna attempt it. MOSASAURUS. How bad was that? Was that pretty good? Was that pretty solid? Nah, let me know. Was that close? Kinda. We're gonna find out. But we're gonna get straight into this video. If you're new, like, comment, subscribe. If you're not new, just keep coming back. Subscribe, what are you doing? Let's get into it.
66 million years ago,
It's a long
much
time.
of Europe was covered by shallow seas and vast oceans. Lurking beneath the waves of what will one day become the Netherlands
This heavy ass
was one
shirt
of the
on.
most terrifying marine predators of all time, the mighty MOSASAURUS.
MOSASAURUS. Oh, MOSASAURUS. Mosaurus? Mosaurus. I was close. MOSASAURUS.
Although MOSASAURUS has been long extinct, the animal has become very popular today thanks to its inclusion in Jurassic World. And while Jurassic World did
Ain't it that
help
big
introduce
thing that,
MOSASAURUS to millions of people
ate that
around the
one-
world, what was shown in the movies is far from what the animal was like in reality. So
Yep,
in this
yep.
video, we'll be taking a look at what MOSASAURUS was actually like and compare it to Hollywood's rendition.
You know how
First, we'll
Hollywood
look at
adds
what
a little
MOSASAURUS was
spice.
really like according to science, and then we'll take a look at the Jurassic World MOSASAURUS to see how scientifically accurate it is.
Hold up.
Lastly,
Wait. So this is what they really look like. Hold on, wait, what?
We'll first take a look at what the MOSASAURUS was really like according to science, and then we'll take a look at the Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, this was like in Jurassic JW. And so this is what kind of look like a. Well, I look like a whale here to me, like not like a whale, but like an aggressive. I don't know. It look like the face, but like a very like a legit killer whale, like it look like this name would be called like an actual killer whale, like instead of an orca. Like no, this is an actual killer whale. And this, I ain't gonna lie, this look cooler though. Yeah, this look more like Hollywood ready. This doesn't really look. Yeah, we all know Hollywood adds a little flavor to it because this really does look more Hollywood ready, bro. This doesn't look as badass as this, but it don't look that bad, bro. So Hollywood gotta make it look more badass. That's all.
MOSASAURUS to see how scientifically accurate it is. Lastly, we will speculate upon what went into the DNA of the Jurassic World clone to make it look the way it does. And so, without further ado, let us begin. MOSASAURUS hoffmanni lived during the end of the late Cretaceous period, from 70 to 66 million years ago. The
That's a
animal
long
was
time.
first discovered in the Netherlands in 1764. Since then, more fossils have been excavated around the world, showing that MOSASAURUS hoffmanni ranged from North America all the way to Russia. Mosasaurs belong to a group of reptiles known as toxiferans, which includes animals like the closely related monitor lizards and snakes. Based on the fossil record, the first representatives of this group appeared approximately 100 million years ago. The mosasaur lineage began with monitor lizard-like reptiles such as Agilosaurus. Over the course of millions of years, these animals became adapted to life in the seas, and natural selection led to the rise of new traits and body plans. Flippers, tail flukes, and more streamlined bodies helped these lizards dominate the oceans, and by the end of the Cretaceous, mosasaur species could be found all around the globe. While MOSASAURUS hoffmanni was far from being the largest marine reptile to have ever lived, it was indeed the largest of the mosasaurs. Previous estimates put the animal at 16 to 17.6 meters. However, the only rigorous skeletal reconstructions of MOSASAURUS hoffmanni suggest that the animal was actually 13 meters in length and weighed approximately 7 to 8 tons. To better put this into perspective, this makes MOSASAURUS hoffmanni as long as an American school bus and as heavy as a modern-day orca. Thanks to various soft tissue remains from related species, scientists now have a more clear understanding about what these animals looked like in life. While we still don't know exactly what body patterns the animals had, we do know what color they generally were. Soft tissue preserved from the upper body of an older mosasaur species showed the presence of eumelanin. Eumelanin is a type of pigment responsible for darker colorations, such as browns and blacks. This suggests that these animals were counter-shaded in light, where the top of the animals' bodies would have been in darker coloration, and the bottom of the animals' bodies would have been lighter in coloration. This acts as a form of camouflage in the deep ocean environments, and is a very common trait in modern-day ocean predators such as orcas, as well as the living relatives of Mosasaurus such as monitor lizards. The teeth of Mosasaurus hoffmanni were very robust and sharp at the tip. The mosasaurs were equipped with an additional set of teeth attached to the pterygoid bone. Located on the roof of the mouth towards the back, these teeth would latch onto prey items and prevent them from escaping. Once latched on, the Mosasaurus would use these teeth to process large chunks out of their prey items. Another impressive feature of these animals is the presence of a tail fluke. Given their large size, mosasaur bodies would have remained stiff to reduce drag through the water, and thus their tail flukes would have helped to provide propulsion, while they would use their paddle-like flippers to steer. Fossils of Mosasaurus hoffmanni are the most common mosasaur fossils found in the Maastricht Formation of the Netherlands. During the late Cretaceous, the Maastricht Formation was once covered in open oceans and shallow seas.
You know what's crazy? Like,
a rich variety of habitats existed here, these being expansive meadows.
I know, that's kind of crazy. I think the ocean, like millions of years ago, is something that I was not really tapped into. That's kind of what I feel like. That's a lot more interesting than dinosaurs. Well, some of them kind of are. But like, nah, Dean, I kind of want to know more about like deep sea animals back then, bro. That's kind of crazy. I didn't even think about them. I never thought about like what was in the ocean way back then.
Seagrass, shallow marine systems, coastal coral reefs, open oceans, and subtropical islands. These various habitats are what allowed for the impressive diversity of animals here, from massive mosasaurs and sharks to bony fish and unique cephalopods. Given their larger and more robust size, Mosasaurus hoffmanni would have hunted the larger animals of the region. These would include large sharks like Squalicorex, the giant sea turtle Allopleuron, and other mosasaur species. In terms of competition, Mosasaurus hoffmanni had little to fear aside from other members of the same species. There was, however, another large mosasaur species from this region, Mosasaurus lemunneri, which almost rivaled in size to Mosasaurus hoffmanni. Compared to Mosasaurus hoffmanni, these animals had a much more slender body shape, a shorter skull, and sharper, elongated teeth better suited for catching slippery prey items such as bony fish and soft-body cephalopods. The differences in feeding style and prey preferences would have kept these two species from being direct competitors.
Okay. It's kind of crazy. Damn, so this one is like better. Okay.
Competitors. However, this would not have kept Mosasaurus lemunneri off of Mosasaurus hoffmanni's menu.
Damn.
Overall, Mosasaurus hoffmanni was the largest and most successful of the mosasaurs, and these animals may have continued to thrive had it not been for the KT extinction event that had also wiped out the non-avian dinosaurs. And thus ends the chapter of a truly awesome and awe-inspiring animal of the ancient past. Now that we have gone over what Mosasaurus hoffmanni was truly like as an animal, let's compare it to the Jurassic World Mosasaurus.
Alright.
Before we begin, it's worth mentioning that although none of the Jurassic World designs are meant to be accurate, the design team still incorporated key features of the real animal. For starters, the overall shape and body proportions are far from perfect, but they do resemble the general body plan of Mosasaurus. Furthermore, the Jurassic World clone possesses pterygoid teeth, which is a very important feature that distinguishes mosasaurs from most other ocean predators. Finally, during the feeding show from the first film, it is mentioned that Mosasaurus fed upon sea turtles, sharks, and other smaller mosasaurs, which is indeed true to Mosasaurus ecology. Now that we have covered these details, let's move on to the inaccuracies. So for starters, the biggest and most notable difference between the Jurassic World Mosasaurus and the real animal is its massive size. While weight is more difficult to calculate,
so it wasn't
we
that
can
big.
get an approximate value for the animal's length. While the Jurassic World website claims that the Mosasaurus is 60 feet long, the on-screen animal is much longer. Test footage from Fallen Kingdom reveals how long the Mosasaurus really was next to the submarine. An average 2-man mini-sub like Marine 1 ranges from 3 to 4 meters in length. In that case, this would make the Jurassic World Mosasaurus at least 45 meters long. This makes the Jurassic World Mosasaurus over 3 times longer than the real Mosasaurus and almost 1.5 times as long as a modern blue whale. Moving on, we see that the Jurassic World Mosasaurus has rows of sharp-pointed scales running down its back, known as scutes. In fact, the animal possesses a hide more similar to that of crocodilians. In reality, Mosasaurs didn't have these scutes, and their bodies were instead covered by tiny scales. Furthermore, the large scales at the end of the animal's tail seem to create a pseudo-fluke. In reality, the tail flukes were soft tissue structures used for propulsion. The Jurassic World clone uses its flippers instead for propulsion, when in reality, Mosasaur flippers would have been used to help stabilize the animal. It's also worth mentioning that the Jurassic World Mosasaurus is a series of blues and light grays in coloration. In reality, the skin of Mosasaurus was most likely darker in coloration, with shades of browns, dark grays, and blacks, as well as lighter colors on the bottom of the animal for counter shading. Lastly, the final inaccuracy worth mentioning is the teeth. The teeth of the Jurassic World Mosasaurus are the incorrect shape and are very jagged and ununiform. This also goes for the pterygoid teeth. Furthermore, the teeth of Mosasaurus would have been obscured by lips as seen in modern-day monitor lizards. Now that we have gone over the major inaccuracies present, let's speculate on what went into the DNA of the Jurassic World Mosasaurus to make it look the way it does. Now, based on the Jurassic World lore, all of the clones are created by extracting fragmentary DNA from amber and fossils, and then filling in the gaps with DNA from modern-day animals. So starting off, we will assume that Mosasaurus DNA was used initially. Since the closest living relatives of Mosasaurus are snakes and monitor lizards, it would make sense for DNA from these animals to be used. Here, we will use Komodo dragon and sea snake DNA. Perhaps the inclusion of sea snake DNA can help account for the added flexibility of the tail, as well as the shape of the teeth. Next up, it's not too far-fetched to assume that perhaps frog DNA was used for the Mosasaurus genome. Given that all the dinosaurs in Jurassic World have frog DNA, despite not being closely related to amphibians. Moving on, perhaps the presence of dorsal scutes can be attributed to the inclusion of crocodilian DNA. Finally, the last 2 animals we will include in Jurassic World Mosasaurus DNA are pilot whales and walruses. The reason these animals are added to our speculative genetic recipe is because pilot whale and walrus calls
I knew it looked like some kind of whale
of the Jurassic World Mosasaurus. So perhaps in the film universe, DNA from these animals helped create these vocals. So there we have it, our speculative genetic makeup of the Jurassic World Mosasaurus. Again, nothing stated here is officially canon to the films, but was rather done so to help further drive the distinction between the fantasy of Jurassic World and the reality of the fossil record. I want to give a special thank you in the Discord server.
Alright, well, we already know Hollywood ads. You know, Jurassic World gotta make it, Hollywood polished. Sometimes they don't really need to. Some of them dinosaurs be looking cool the way they are, but I think for that one, honestly, it didn't really need the Hollywood spice, because it did look kind of, it's like a big ass Mosasaurus. Like, either way, it's kind of badass. But the little things they did add to it did kind of make it more, But that's going to do it. If you enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're not new, you just keep coming back. Subscriber, what are you doing? But that's going to do it. See you on the next one.